I've personally made well over $10 million with the agency business model, but right now I'm building a brand new AI agency from zero live on this channel. And when it's finished, I'm going to give the entire thing away to one of you guys who are watching. Now, today is day 2, so if you're new here, you're a little late to the party. On day 1, I had no name, no brand, no niche, no service. Now we've got all of that. If you didn't watch me put that together, you should go and watch episode 1 before you watch this one. I'll put a link in the description. And for the rest of you, let's get stuck straight into it. So, this is the master plan. This is where we are keeping tabs of everything that we've done so far. Okay, we are clicking on each of these when we have done them. Episode 1, we decided our service. We established our ideal customer profile, so that's our niche. We wrote our offer statement. We came up with our agency name. We created our logo. And today we need to create our website. We need to start getting clients. So we need to build a big list of leads. So we're going to go through lead generation. We're going to build our CRM system, and we'll see where this takes us. Beyond that, we need to build our outreach strategy, emails, DMs, cold calling scripts. We're going to build our paid ad strategy as well. So our ad copy, our ad creative. We need to build a bespoke sales meeting strategy, and we need to go through our growth strategy, how we're going to get from 0 to 10K a month, how we're going to sign clients, build AI systems for those clients so we can get them results and they keep paying us again and again. We're going to build this entire business, and I'm going to give the entire thing to one of you guys who are watching this right now. So how can you win it? Well, if you click the link in the description, you'll come through to the competition page. You see I'm giving away for the grand prize, the agency itself, a brand new Apple MacBook that you can run it on, and the complete toolkit. Every system that I use throughout this series, you're going to get access to for free. Okay, now there is a bonus draw, 5 of them for those of you that don't win. I'm giving away 2 iPads and 3 AirPods. You can enter all of those by submitting this form. You have to watch each episode. You have to like the video, leave a comment down below. For this one today, I want to know, what niche are you gravitating to and what service do you think that you're going to offer them? Give me an idea of your foundations, and then you're going to catch a keyword hidden in each video. Okay, I might show it on screen. I might say it. It's going to be pretty obvious, but this is a competition for active participants. If I'm going to build an agency and give it away to you, you better watch that agency actually get built, and then you submit your proof here. You hit start submission, put your email address in, and you're just going to upload proof that you actually did those things. So go and do that. Well, you can pause the video and do it now. Actually, well, you're not going to be able to do it now because you don't have the keyword. So hold tight. Let's just get straight into what we're going to do today. So, why am I talking so fast? I've got all the time in the world. I'm in no rush. I'm talking so fast. Talking of time, we are going to time everything. So you see, it actually took us 90 minutes to do everything we did last time, but we're going to start this timer again because, of course, this is a YouTube video, so we are going to skip ahead in some little bits of dead time, but I want you to have tabs of how long this is taking in the real world as well. Now, I am actually going to skip creating the website for now. And the reason why I'm going to skip creating the website, I'm going to come to it later on today, because lead generation is going to impact what I actually put on the website. We've already built our ICP, which is diving deep into the niche that we're going to reach out to, the niche that we're going to work with. We'll recap on that in a second. But when we go through lead generation, we're going to get much deeper into exactly who we're going to be trying to sign up within that ICP. And that's going to dictate how we word our copywriting and our positioning on the website itself. So we're actually going to skip ahead to lead generation right now. Then we'll jump into the website and we'll see how far we can get. I'm going to move this over to this screen over here. You can probably see it on that second camera. And let's get stuck into it. So this is the agency that we have built. The agency is called Consulti. You can see we've got our logo there as well. All of this was actually generated with AI, but also, of course, my expertise on the back end of that. We don't just take the first output we blindly get from AI. We've got to critique it. We've got to know what great actually is. Okay, so our niche is B2B services, but specifically, it's actually professional service firms. So smaller 1 to 5 team members that want to stop relying on referrals and fill their calendar with qualified consults through a combination of meta, paid ads, AI lead generation, and AI appointment setting. This is what I call the paid AI lead gen service. They solve the feast to famine problem by installing a predictable system that turns local demand into booked appointments, letting firms become market leaders instead of chasing leads reactively. The positioning as local market leadership starts with a full consult calendar. Consultee fills it by installing a proven system so growth isn't left to referrals or sporadic marketing. They focus on booked qualified consults, not lead dumps or case guarantees, okay? And so we've got all of this information about our agency, our ideal client, our services, our market goals as well, okay? A location, we're going for South Florida as well. Now, if you are watching this for the first time and you've skipped episode 1, I don't recommend you doing that. You want to make sure that you watch that first. But this is Agency OSX, which is the suite of AI employees I built for my own agency that I decided is the best way to build an agency from scratch. And so I'm giving it all you guys access to it for free. It's pay as you use, but I'm giving you free credits in order to use it. You can also use Claude if you would prefer to. Go ahead and test out both side by side. It doesn't really matter to me. And we're using Claude for different things throughout this, but we'd be brain dead not to use AI to build an agency from scratch in the AI era. Would be castrating ourselves. That's definitely not the right term to use, but screw it. And this is meant to be raw and uncut. I can't stop today I can't stop through this series in order to make sure I'm politically correct. We've got a lot to do, a lot to get on with. Well, I'm also creating a Notion document where I'm actually outlining all of the resources that we've been creating, the ICP, the offer statement, and so on. And so this is also a resource that I'm going to give away to whoever wins this series as well. Now, let's just get straight into this. We obviously used Ava, the business strategist, last time round in order to help us actually build those agency foundations and create the logo. Today, we're going to move on to a different agent, and we're actually going to use Kai, the lead generator, to help us generate this big list of leads. Okay, but the first thing we need to do is one thing, having an ICP. The ICP is the definition of the clients that we're going to work with. Okay, so we are working with we're working with professional services companies. We actually chose 3 sub niches. So we had estate planning, wills, because everyone's going to die. And so this is a really good sub niche. And we also had tax advisory. Okay, so big, broad niches. And we're going somewhat scattergun, where we're working with multiple niches because we don't really know where we're going to niche down just yet. And so now we need to actually take that information and turn it into a much more defined criteria for lead generation. What's up, Kai? I need your help to help me create a lead list. And so I need you to help me build a prospecting list. But before we do that, can you help me with ensuring we have the right criteria based on my ICP? Let me know if you have any questions about my ICP so we can get this right from the start before we scrape that data. Crazy thing about this now, being able to use AI, like 8 years ago when I first started, and you can go back and watch this on this YouTube channel, by the way, I documented my whole growth journey. It used to take me days to generate hundreds of leads for my agency. Like, we're going to do this in minutes, and AI is going to do it for us, probably more comprehensively than we were able to do ourselves, because we did it with a lack of motivation. We did it with like drudging our feet along as we were doing it, dragging ourselves along, motivating us. Lead generation is boring work. All of you guys watching this should thank your lucky stars that you don't have to do it manually anymore. So cool, we've got a tight ICP already. Before we scrape, I want the list filters locked so we don't waste time on junk firms. Good. We want to include estate planning, wills, and trusts. We want to do solo and 5 attorneys. So that basically just means like 1 to 5 team members. We always want to target small guys. Yes, sure, long term you want to work up to bigger and better clients, but in the short term you want to be working with small guys that are actually going to trust you. Miami area, owner, attorney, or managing partner as a contact, absolutely must have a website. Yes, that's key. Unless we were building websites. Some of you guys might want to build websites, and then it's fine. You can take people without one. Big multi-office firms, that's an exclude. Cool, definitely. Niche mix for the first list, pure estate planning only or controlled scattergun. Start pure estate for a cleaner proof, then layer the other 2 on top. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Let's do it individually. You could do a broad list, but I would recommend doing it sub-niche by sub-niche, so it's like it's a good list. Geo for run 1, so geo-targeting is just geographical location. Yes, but I would also do Miami and surrounding areas. Target size, how many leads do you want in the first pull? Must have signals on the list. Okay, I'm just going to generate... how many leads do I actually want to generate right now? I'm going to generate, let's do 100 in each of these. Cool. I would like you to start off with estate planning only. We'll generate each of these lists one by one. Do Miami and surrounding areas, because I actually want at least 100 leads. So aim for 100 leads and decision makers. I don't want any more than one contact per company, and I don't need any certain signals. I think that's absolutely fine. So just get me 100 leads in that sub niche. Yeah, you're going to hear the aircon in the background today, but like, it's better than me burning out, and it means that the mic has some issues. But regardless of that, not this mic, hopefully you can hear me nice and clear, but that mic up there is the one that the Mac is using right now for OS X. Cool. And so this is actually connected to an API on the back end in order to be able to scrape those leads. There are many tools that are just exceptional at scraping leads. Running full lead pipeline for state, so we're going to be about 1 cent a lead, no problem. Then we have to enrich the lead as well. Okay, so I'm actually going to go ahead and approve this. Some of you might be looking at this right now thinking, oh, it's not free. No, it's not free. Nothing is free in life. If you're using Claude, it's not going to be free. If we're spending our time generating 100 leads a whole day, that definitely is not free. So if you watch this right now and you want to do it the old school way, you want to do what I would have done like 5 years ago, but by all means, be my guest. Everything I'm going to go through, I'm going to do my best to narrate it so you understand how everything works, so you can go and do it on whatever language model you want with, whatever budget you've got. I'm going to do it based on what I believe to be the perfect intersection between cost and efficiency. I'm going to do this as cheap as possible whilst being as efficient as possible. Like this whole agency is going to cost like $100 or something to build. Yeah, maybe a little bit more than that, including the domain and all of that shit. I mean, I already paid $200 for the domain, didn't I? Because I bought you a premium domain. Stopped myself from paying $5,000 though. Okay, let's just wait for this to come through. Okay, so the list is actually ready. That was much quicker than I thought. That was under a minute. What I've got is 100 state planning firms. Great. We scrape the websites. We've got contact rows after enrichment. Enrichment is just the act of making sure we've got validated emails and we've got details. 56 firms with at least one email. Okay, next move, dead up the CSV and push it to go high level. No, I just want to see the list. Same run to stack to a fuller South Florida coverage. Set reoccurring city by city workflow. Okay, so we could set up a workflow where we could just generate more lists. So how many total enriched contacts do we have? Send me that CSV. So we've actually got 80 enriched contact rows. So we've got 80 decision makers, but only 56 firms with an email address. So that's, great if we want to definitely call the difference between the 56 and the 80. It's actually more leads than I thought we were going to have. And the difference between the 56 and the 80, that's going to be the ones that we really want to make sure that we're cold calling and we don't miss out on those leads as well. It's actually saying it's already given me the download. I must have missed that. Oh, there we go. There's the file. So we can download this as a CSV. Let's have a little look at those. Here we go. I'm going to have to blur this information on screen right now. So Facebook does not like it. YouTube does not like it when we show information, rightfully so. So now we've got email addresses, and scroll down, all these email addresses are enriched there. We've got attorney, consultant, and so on. And we can go on like one of these companies here and we can see the information. Cool, Florida Probate Partners, awesome. Nice, so we're pretty good. Let's have a look what else we've got. FloridaPlanning.com, nice, good prospects. There you go, that's probably our decision maker, Jeffrey, love it. Have we got phone numbers here as well? I want some phone numbers. So we've just got email addresses right now and ask if we can get phone numbers. All right, actually being an idiot. We've already got the phone numbers. It's like reality check, they usually come up, like open the CSV and check the phone column, that would help. Oh, we have a phone number for every single contact. Idiot. Okay, yeah, that's fine. You're right. I'm an idiot. Can you create a workflow for this lead list? I want to show you workflows actually, because once we've actually created this criteria, we can save this and then we can come back to it later. If we want to scrape another 100 leads, no worries. We can just scrape another 100 leads based on the existing criteria. It's going to go ahead and build that workflow for us and let us know when it's done. Workflows are similar like what you would see on NA10. It's just going to be a kind of a logic-based flow. When this happens, do this, and we can trigger it manually, or we can even trigger it from, an API call, a webhook. So we can integrate it into another system that we build in the future, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Okay, so now we can open that up. It's going to take us through to the workflow. So it's scheduled every single day at the moment, but we can make this manual. So every day we could have it scraping and finding new leads for us. So, have any new companies come up, for example? I would say in this niche, you're not going to have many new companies come. If you're working in a niche like e-commerce, for example, you're going to find new ones all the time. Then we've got the actual scraper itself. So we generate leads, and then we've got the description there. So find, scrapes, and enriches. Estate planning, wills, trust firms in the current city. Focus on the owner, managing attorney as a decision maker. What to search for: estate planning attorneys, wills, trusts. Okay, we've then got the import data there as well. We've got the maximum budget we can set so we don't overspend if you're balling on a budget right now. And then we save to files. Okay, so we actually can save that in our destination file as well. So we save that as a CSV, but we can save files inside of OS X as well. There's a kind of a whole file storage system within there too. So we could just run this workflow right now, and let's do it for New York. Okay, we can see it now doing its thing. We are just running this for 35-ish right now. It's a target count. Obviously, you won't be able to enrich everyone. There's always going to be drop off on some of the leads that we generate. That was quick. Nice. That was so quick. Okay, open the pipeline view. Again, we'll have to blur this information, but these are the businesses. We've got business name, address, city, state, phone number, website, and then we have the email addresses there as well with the contact emails, and we've got the final list there as well. Now, what we haven't done is actually scrape the business owner's details, so we can go ahead and we can do that too off the back of this. So if we want to do that, then all we'd need to do is we want to go on this flow, and we can add another. Let's go back. Oh, that's the existing one. Let's just go on here. We're going to add, and we can do enrich decision makers. Okay. And so what that's now going to do is it's found the business owner's details. Find business owner's details, managing partner, etc. Okay. And then that step is there. And then all we need to do is turn that on and run it again. And we've generated that big list of leads. But now we've got the decision makers as the final output, not just the businesses there as well. Okay, so that's workflows. If you guys want me to talk about OS X in more detail on some kind of future videos, then I absolutely can do. But I'm trying to say, I want to stay at the top. It's hard not to get excited and run you through all of the cool shit that you can do, because we built this for our own agency and it's done so many things for us that it's just kind of cool that we've now made the decision to release it to you guys. I'm excited to talk about it. So I can talk about it in a future video. But for now, let's just go ahead and with the other lists. Okay, can you move on to the next sub ICP? I want you to generate me a list of 100 decision makers for the secondary ICP, which I believe is family law firms. Now, one thing whilst we're waiting for this to be done is I'm obviously generating like 100 leads for each of these sub niches right now. You could just go ahead and you could scrape every single lead in a certain area. And that's actually what I'd recommend you doing. If your budget allows you to do so, you should just scrape as much as possible. So we spoke about on the last episode, a total addressable market, a TAM. It's a total amount of people in your potential market. We also have our SAM, which is our serviceable market. Those are the people that are actually qualified on paper. Okay, so we want to try and establish by scraping as many leads as possible what our SAM actually is. And that's really the best thing that you could do when you're starting off an agency. So if you're watching this right now and you've got a bigger budget, and you can actually afford to generate, a whole bunch of leads. There we go. We've got another list there. So we've got family law firms, Miami area, and we actually have 38 contact rows. So we could run a scrape again, now get another 100 until we actually hit 100 contact rows. But we're always going to have that drop off because not everyone's got all of their details just hanging around on the internet, even though this is scraping a number of different APIs and data sources on the back end. Let me just get this running and then we'll get back to what I was just saying. Okay, now finally I want a list of 100 in the third sub niche, which was tax attorneys. Okay, so you want to try and scrape as many leads as possible because you're going to run out of leads. If you're sending emails, you're sending DMs, you're doing cold calls, you're going to run out of leads. And it's a right pain in the ass if you generate a certain amount of leads and then in a few days time, you have to then generate another bunch of leads. It's a lag that you just don't need to have. You might as well just spend the time, spend the money just to generate as many leads as humanly possible, as quickly as possible. And then you've got your big fat list, combine it into one massive CSV. You've got, 5,000, 10,000 leads within there, and then you can go for it. The caveat to that is if you're uncertain on what industry you're actually going to reach out to and you're going scattergun, you don't want to go overboard. I'm somewhat retracting on what I just said. There is a balance, okay? What I would actually say is if you're uncertain on what niche you're going to work with, like here, we're dabbling, generate 500 leads in each sub-niche, because 500 leads is enough for you to sign up, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 clients, maybe much more than that, depending on how good you are at sales and how good your offer is resonating with the market. That's going to be more than enough for you to test out whether or not that niche is going to be worth working with. And it's still very, very negligible. Great. Can you actually combine all of the CSVs we have right now? So we've got one big master list. Are you able to do that for me? I don't even know if Kai can do that, but we'll test it out. Okay. Seems like we're doing it with a niche column as well. That's a shame. He can't do it, but that is something that we should get him to do, shouldn't we? We should make that a feature, shouldn't we? We absolutely should. So we will. By the time some of you guys watch this, that'll already be a feature. Good to test things. Let's upload the files though. It said to me, just upload the 3 CSVs and I'll combine them for you. Okay, so now we've got this combined list. We've got our niches on the left, estate planning, family law, tax advisory, and we've got all of the details of those leads there as well. What I would do in this position, and what I actually am going to do here, because I want to give whoever wins this agency a really good list of leads, and I want to make sure we've got access to a chunky list of leads for outreach. I'm actually going to go ahead and give this one final scrape, because saying like 100 leads is just not enough in each of these when we go to actually enrich it. So let's just do one final scrape and let's see what we can come back with. I want you to get me way more contact details. I noticed on family law and tax advisory, there's barely any contact details. The ideal situation is I want 100 contacts at least for each of these sub niches. So if you need to generate hundreds of companies, do it. And you can broaden your area as well. That's absolutely fine. But I want ideally around 100 enriched contacts for each of these sub niches. Okay, just to prove that, but I've also just realized that I'm a fool. The reason why we've got so little contacts here is not because of the fact it couldn't find them. It's because there are 0 credits remaining on the enrichment tool that is being used on the back end of OSX. This is part of not actually planning to release this thing to the public and having this as just an internal tool. It's all set up on my back-end account for APIs, and I didn't have auto top-up set up on the enrichment tool. So I just smashed a whole bunch of new credits with auto top-up on there, and we should be away now. Okay, that is much more like it. We did 100 companies, 88 contacts in the end for that one. So there we go. What I'm actually going to do behind scenes, but to save time for the episode today, is I'm going to go ahead and scrape 500 leads in each of these sub niches, and they'll be packaged together and put together with the agency. Throw away. I'm like, with the agency. No, I actually kind of want to keep this agency for myself. I can't lie. The more I'm building it, the more I'm getting attached to consultancy, but reluctantly I will do so, and I'll give that batch of leads. So there's going to be 1,500 leads to get started with, or thereabouts. Okay, so that is. Let's just make this smaller. Let's continue moving on. I'm just chasing my cursor on screen right now. Come on, master plan. So that's lead generation sorted. Let's go ahead and build the website. So let's go back on ourselves and go and create the website right now. And so in order to do this, I'm actually going to go over to the dashboard, and we can do this inside of OSX. We're going to do landing page builder. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and create a landing page. We also can use Finn as the agent to speak to. This has helped us massively in the e-com space. We have to generate and create so many landing pages for clients, and lots of those are very repeatable. And so we just created a system that allowed us to do that on repeat. And so now you get a benefit from all of the great templates. So we'll start off with lead capture. So lead capture, we choose like 3 different formats. Lead capture is when we just have a form on a website, and so we fill in lead information. We can also do a direct offer, which is kind of more what I was just explaining. Then we have appointment booking, where we can do calendar booking. And so we'll do lead capture, but we'll probably end up doing appointment booking as well for a really important reason that I'll come on to. So we'll just say this is going to be a lead form site first. What are we promoting? Okay, we're going to be promoting, let's actually take this from our offer statement. Okay, so go down to our offer. There you go. Who's this page for? Let's put our NSVP in there. Include a form on the page, yes. Website inspiration. I'm not actually going to put any on there. I'm also not going to give Finn any direction as well. We're just going to keep this completely open. And he can take this from the information on the agency. Sections, we want a navigation, yes. We want a hero section, yes. Problem, solution, yes. Value stack, no. Results, no, we don't have any. Proof, no, we don't have any. You're going to need some though, eventually, when you've got them, okay? But for now, you know, we're just not going to have them. And so I like the idea of this: navigation, hero, problem, solution, lead form, FAQ, final CTA, and then footer. We're going to go next. We can take our brand, okay? So let's actually just take the right color there of the brand logo. Let's actually have that saved somewhere. Where's the brand logo, the brand color? Cool, so let's set the primary color to black, background to white, accent color to our blue. Let's just get that actual color. Nice. Fonts, let's just keep them as default for now. We can play around with those later. Again, we don't want to get too emotionally attached to these assets. Visual style, auto. Let's do auto for now. Photos, well, we don't have any photos yet. We can go ahead and we can generate some, but we're just going to go and build this landing page. Let's just see the bare bones landing page based on the information we've got about the business. Okay, so it started generating. It is currently polishing the site. It's added the logo there a little bit too small, so we can go ahead, let's see if it actually fixes that itself. So we can go ahead and we can play around with that. Although it's probably because, yeah, it's using the square image there because that's all that I actually gave the system. But let's just let this run. This is a really good start though. Let's just let this run and see what we get back. Okay, we are done. And 45 minutes, 46 minutes, by the way, since I started that timer. Outrageous. And I'm shocked at how different this landing page looks from that first audit, that first version that came up then as well, before it then corrected itself. So it just went through in the chat and I just came off this chat and was messing around with something else, came back to it, the chat's cleaned itself up. But all sorts was going on in the chat. It was doing all sorts of crazy shit. At one point, like the landing page, I was like, "This, what's going on here?" Let me show you guys a message actually, because this is quite humorous. I paused the camera and I sent a message through to our tech team. I was like, "Is this okay? Is this okay right now?" I was like, "Look at this landing. Can you see that? Maybe this camera can see that. Can you see that?" I was like, "Is this okay right now? Should it look like this?" It just like completely screwed itself. And then I went away and just came back and we're here. And it's beautiful. So let's have a look at what we've got. So we've got a hero section. Fill your consult calendar with qualified local demand. Come on. Consult acquisition system. We help professional service firms become the local market leader in their category by filling their calendar with qualified consults, so growth is not left to referrals. We've got our form here. Tell us about your practice and then see if the consult acquisition system is right for the next step. And then we've got the form there as well. Estate planning, family law, tax advice. We've got our sub niches there as well, which is pretty cool. Okay, what happens if we click this? We're going to the gap. So referrals built the practice. They will not scale it alone. Feast or famine months, leads that never book, owner-led rainmaking. A system that books consults on a pile of raw leads, meta demand, AI qualification, booked consults. Okay. I don't think that no fear porn. What is that? No fear porn? I'm not sure I'd use that. No fear porn. I didn't even know fear porn was a thing, but that's probably not the right wording I would use. There's going to be a few little things that we're gonna tweak. So for example, we could go ahead and we can highlight this right now and we can select that section. We say, don't say no fear porn. I'm just going to go and change that. We've also got our system there outlined too. We've got our 3 parts, 1 outcome, but qualified consult. So we'd play around with this creative, with this copy, attract local demand, filter for consult ready, book the calendar, which is nice. That's weird. It couldn't find fear porn. I'll just say it. Don't say fear porn. It's quite nice. Forcing me to build an agency from scratch and actually use the tools that I built for my team it forces me to find little bugs in the system. So this is a dual benefit, this series, because not only do I get fun building a new agency, but I also get to stress test my systems as well for little bugs. Okay, Whilst it's doing that, we can look at the rest of the list. So we've got our form at the bottom of the page here as well. So see if we can fill your consult calendar. We've got a practice type. So we've got estate planning, family law, tax advisory, other professional services. So these are for our sub niches right now. We could branch out larger, but for now, I think it's actually fine to keep these on here like that. Monthly ad spend. I'm not a massive fan of like, what does a consult calendar look like for you? I think we don't necessarily need to have that, so we could get rid of that as well. So I'll just speak to Finn and get him to remove those things. I also think we could centralize this FAQ in the middle there. But outside of this, like this is such a clean site. If we consider, and the other thing is the logo is really small there. So I definitely want to, get the logo sorted. Let's actually upload a new logo. I can't do that whilst it's doing this. Let's just wait for that to be done. Cool, it's done that. Now we can go ahead and upload another logo. So let's just go and give it a cropped logo because it's using a square at the minute. That's all it's got on the back end. Replace logo with this one. Okay, it's done that for us. I'm quite frankly dumbfounded at the quality of this landing page from a one bang. We're only able to one bang a website like this though, because of the time that we've just put into building a good ICP, the brand. We've got that agency information on the back end. So like the context is what feeds this. And obviously this has got a whole bunch of context of other landing pages that we built in our agency. But I'm dumbfounded at how good this is. Like there are a few things that I'm not sure I want. A best fit, solo to 5 attorney firms and estate planning, blah, blah. Like that's like a little bit too broad, And so I could say, I think it's a bit too open at the moment. It's like listing our ICP, make it more safe to be client facing. Let's just like let it do its thing. By the way, it's using Clara on the back end, who's another one of the AI employees. So this gut feeling that one of the cameras wasn't rolling. Clara is trained on copywriting, and so Finn is switching around from all of the other agents, just pulling whatever he needs to do it. So we can take things like this and we can change the copy. We can go ahead and we can edit this form as well if we wanted to. We can actually go on the settings of the form too, so we can see, what do we actually want to happen? Do we want to have spam protection on there as well? Do we want to track on Meta? Do we want to add the Meta pixel, which is one thing I would recommend doing. The Meta pixel is the tracking code on Meta for you to then know, okay, is someone submitted a lead event, or do we want it to be a contact event, and so on. So all of those things are really important. Google Ads conversion tracking and everything as well. What message do we want to send them when they submit? Do we want to redirect them to another page or to another URL? We can look at the site, the settings of the site as well. So you can host the website on side of OS X itself, or we can of course set up the DNS to host it elsewhere. We can even have a look if you're an advanced kind of web builder. You can have a look at the custom CSS on the back end as well. You can edit that CSS and some of the source code of the website itself. So you've got full flexibility in what you can do here. Has it gone and done that for us? What have we got? Built for established professional service practices that want a predictable consult pipeline alongside referrals and are ready to invest in both the system and the media that powers it. Pretty good. I can't argue with that. That's pretty good. Let's just give this a selection. Please centralize this FAQ. I don't like it over to the left there. Logo also is messed up in the footer, so we can go ahead and we can change that as well. In an ideal world, this logo would also be a transparent PNG, so we would just we would turn that into a transparent PNG, which we can actually get Claude to do, to be honest. Remove the background of this logo. Claude's probably not the best in order to do that. It'd actually be Nano Banana Pro that I would use, but Claude's probably going to be able to do it for us. Whilst we're actually waiting for this to happen, I did mention a moment ago that I don't believe that form fill landing pages are the best that you could run as an agency. Lots of agencies I do see having these direct forms on the website, and they can work well if the form is a precursor to then booking a call. If you fill in this form and then it offers you a booked call on the back end. In fact, let me give you some creds to back this up. This right here, can you see that? You can see it on this camera. I hope you can see it on this camera. This is an award that I got. Where do I need to be? Screw it. This is an award that I got from a company called Ad Client for my agency, affluent.co, for making over 10 million by spending money on ads for my agency. Okay, so I know a thing or two when it comes to building funnels. Funnels are like landing pages, but taking people through like a specific process. Now, beyond my own agency, I've also coached thousands of other agencies through spending many more millions over the past 8 years. And in that time, I've tested pretty much every funnel structure that there is. VSLs, webinars, lead magnets, form submissions like this one, and direct calendar bookings as well. And for an agency specifically, the direct calendar booking wins almost every time. And the reason is really simple. Think about what you actually want from this page. You want a sales call, ultimately, because that's where you sell. And every extra step that you put in front of that, so in front of the prospect and the call, is another place that someone can drop off. And so if they fill in a form, all you've got is their name and the email and maybe the phone number to call. But if they download a lead magnet, you're hoping that they read the lead magnet and then they are motivated to buy later. If they book a call directly, then they're in your diary and you're going to have a real conversation with them. And so here's the part that matters more than the page itself. It isn't having a call booking system that makes a difference on the page. It's what you call the call. Nobody wakes up wanting a discovery call with a business. You just sound like everybody else and it just reeks of sales call. And so instead, you should have a reason for the call to exist. Maybe it's a free audit of the ads that your prospects are already running. It might be a strategy session where they walk away with a plan or a roadmap on how they can actually grow. It needs to be something that they'd happily take even if they never buy from you. That is the secret to getting more call bookings. So if you get that part right, your conversion rate is going to go through the roof on your landing page. So give them a reason to book. And whilst we're just talking there, this has done its thing. Now we've got a centralized FAQ. I didn't even read through this FAQ. Do you guarantee signed clients or case studies? No, we guarantee a serious system aimed at booking, qualified consults, case outcomes, and retain the state of your firm. That's how professional service marketing stays honest and compliant. That's a really nice objection handle. How fast should we get results? Timing depends on niche, geography, offer, and spend. After tracking Creative Alive, the goal is steady consult cadence, not a 1 week miracle spike. Cool. Okay. Really nice. And actually that leads me on to a big question that lots of people give me, like, should I offer a guarantee when I'm working with someone? And I'll answer, so which camera do I talk to? Should we offer a guarantee? And the answer is no if you're just starting out. Ask me that question 3 years ago, I would have said yes, offer a guarantee, because not many people were doing it. Now, the entire market is like, we'll give you 5 qualified leads every single month. The issue is, if I was to be running consulting myself, I don't know how many leads I can generate for a professional service firm. I don't know how much it's going to cost. I can guess based on past experience, it's probably going to be like $20 to $50 per lead. Maybe it's going to be $100 per booked call on behalf of the client. So I can guess, but I'm guessing. And so at the very least, if I had some kind of a direct offer where I had a specific result in a specific time frame, I could say I'm going to generate between 10 and 20 qualified consults per month. Okay? The issue with that is I'm still stabbing in the dark. And prospects really just want to know that you're going to get them the outcome that they want. Here, we're still promising an outcome. You're going to fill your consult calendar with qualified local demand. We're speaking their language. It's way better to do this than say, we're going to give you 5 qualified consults in 30 days. You then sign up a client, realize they're not spending anywhere near enough to get you that result. You've just lost the client. Whereas that exact same client you could have signed on this offer statement, on this promise, okay? Now their expectations aren't set on a specific or hedged on a specific number. They stay with you for longer, even though you've got the exact same result, because the expectations are managed. And that's really important. And I'm not saying, by the way, that you shouldn't have these specific goal outcome guarantees, right? I do think they work really well. They work really well when you are confident you can actually deliver on them and you're not just stabbing in the dark, okay? I would bet that an agency that is honest like this and make statements like this is going to have a better time signing up clients in the early stages by being direct with people, because so many people in the industry who have bought from agencies in the past have been burnt by guarantees that don't mean anything anyway, and in most cases are just used as hooks. So be conservative, and then in the future, introduce a guarantee when you're 100% confident that you can actually get that result. Let's just fix that footer. Fix the logo in footer. It's just white right now. And then what we're going to do is actually going to change this form to a calendar embed. I'm going to get rid of the form on the hero. We're actually just going to centralize. We're going to redesign this hero section. We're going to get rid of the form here. And then I'm going to change this here to a calendar embed. And we're going to then go get that calendar set up. And I'm going to use Go High Level to set that up, because we don't have calendar functionality inside of OS X now, but it's actually something that we're going to build. So by the time some of you watch this, you'll be able to do it, but we're going to do it in Go High Level. All right, it's just updated that logo, but it reminds me, we got Claude to give us a transparent PNG, and it's actually smashed it. That's awesome. We'll update the nav logo to this one. Let's see if Claude can make this white. Can you make the text white, but keep the blue arrow blue? It's just so cool. I feel like I'm a broken record just talking about how cool it is to be able to use AI to do this stuff. Like, give me a break, guys. The reason why I just think it's so amazing is because I've gone through the pain of doing all this shit manually. Like, I would have to spend the time going on Photoshop, editing a logo, building a website that would take me at least a day with no experience. Like, this stuff used to take so much time. Like, you don't realize how lucky you are. Like, I wish I could like grab your face and shake it and say, you don't know how fucking lucky you are to be born in the era where you can use AI to build a business. You don't know how fucking lucky you are. Like, the work that you used to have to go through pre-AI to just come to this in 72 minutes would be like 72 hours to do everything that we have done over the past, like, more than that. Like, and the reason why I'm saying that is because people still procrastinate on actually doing it. Like, it takes me to go out of my way. I'm running an agency, I've got a software company, I'm investing in companies, I'm trying to keep up a personal brand, I'm trying to manage my personal life. It takes me to clear my schedule to say, I'm going to build an agency from scratch, to like drag you along and say, do the thing. You want to be successful, you're watching my content, do the thing. Look how easy it is. Like, if this series does not motivate you to get off your ass and do this, in the era where it's never been easier to build the foundation, I don't know what is going to help you. Like, bottom line, I don't know what is going to help you. I hope and I pray that even just like 1% of the people that watch this, in like 3 years' time, you contact me and you're like, oh, Jordan, that consulting series, that thing changed my life. That motivated the shit out of me. That made me do the work. Thank you. Because if you ain't going to start a business in the AI era, I don't know what the hell it's done to that one there. Fix that nav. If you ain't going to start a business in the AI era, you ain't never going to start a business. Like, when you can like one bang a landing page like this, you know, and you're going to see me do this. Like, over the next 2 episodes after this, I'm going to go and build this whole strategy, and I'm going to demonstrate how easy all of this stuff is. I'm saying easy. It's much easier for me because I've got the experience, sure. But how easy it is to build the foundations and to lay the groundwork. The hard part is the conditioning. It's the discipline. It's the daily actions. It's making sure you reach out to people. It's turning up to your meetings. It's losing a client. It's being told no 1,000 times before you're told a yes, or maybe 100 times before you're told a yes. But it's going through that the gritty, like, all of this shit is like easier than ever. The gritty, daily, monotonous foundation, that's always going to be hard, because that's the thing that does not change, AI or not. Okay. Cool. We're good. We're looking good again. Let's come on, Finn. Give me my shit back. Let me tell you to do one more thing. No, I didn't look at mobile. We're mobile optimized as well. Nice. So clean. I love this brand. I'm falling in love with this brand more and more by the minute. I love this shit. So now what we're going to do is we're going to centralize this hero section. Maybe we'll even add an image. In fact, actually, we'll replace this form with a booking. Now I want you to do two things. I want you to replace the form in the hero section for an image. And I want you to, well, let me know if you can AI generate an image. If not, I can get one of the other agents to do it. But I'd like an image of a professional service firm and maybe some marketing stuff around it that relates to my service. And then I also want you to replace the form in the section above the FAQ for a calendar embed, please. Always be polite. Always like, please. Sometimes when you ever use, this is just me, or like, when you're using Claude or something and it just keeps making mistakes or you're not getting the output that you want. And then you're like, do this fucking thing right now. And then you feel bad. You're like, what about if the robots turn against me in the future? Let me know in the comments if you do that. And so then you're like really nice to it afterwards. You kind of like shit yourself a little bit, like looking out the window. Let me know if you guys do that in the comments. And if you haven't, by the way, drop me a comment anyway, because you need to do that in order to take part in the competition. And by the way, if you're new and you didn't watch the previous episode as well, you got to drop a comment on each of the episodes in order for your place to take part as well. Let's let this run. It's probably going to take a couple minutes. Whilst it's doing this right now, I actually am going to go ahead and we're going to need to get a calendar embed anyway. So let's go and do that. And so to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to go over to Go High Level. Okay. Go High Level, if you haven't used it before, is an all-in-one CRM system. So it basically combines a whole bunch of different, it replaces a whole bunch of different tools. It's all of our pipeline management where we're going to manage our leads. And it's also, where we're going to manage our calendar. We also can build automation inside of High Level. I won't go crazy deep into High Level today because I've created entire videos on this channel, like full tutorial videos of setting it up. So I'll put a link in the description. You can watch them in your own time, but we will do the fundamentals here. Let's just go ahead and log into the account. I'm going to log into an existing account, but you can use the link in the description and you can sign up to your own account and you can get a free trial on Go High Level. You can, of course, use any other calendar that you want to as well. If you've got another calendar embed tool that you want, then you can use that. But I would recommend using Go High Level, broadly speaking, for a number of features that they've got. It's great for sending emails out, managing automation flows, managing an email list, and so on. Oh, this is actually the AppointWise Go High Level account. Oh, it's okay. We can move with it. I'm just gonna have to blur some information on screen right now. Let's create a new sub account. Let's do a blank snapshot. So you won't see this logo here. You'll see a Go High Level logo on your account. But for me, this is white labeled, so you can change the logo to make it look like your own software. So we're setting this up as Miami. Going to add that manually, and we'll do my name, Jordan Platten. JordanPlatten.com. And consulting, business niche, marketing agency. Okay, it's a random number, but don't call this number. It's not my number, it's a random number. This is my own sub account. Add. How are we getting on this side? Oh, what's happened there? Let's just refresh the page. Okay. Oh, we got an image. What happened to the other image? We had a really nice image, didn't we? I saw that in preview. Don't know what happened to that image. I don't like that. But have we got a calendar embed? Okay. So maybe we hit an error. Okay. I'm gonna add a new calendar embed. Can you change the image in the hero? That's disgusting. It should be slick. Horrible. Okay, so we're going to go over to calendars and we're going to go calendar settings. And we're going to create a calendar. This is going to be a personal booking and we're going to call it, let's call it, what are we going to call it? Do we want the positioning to be right for this? What should the positioning be of the consult system? Let's call it a free consult audit. Quite like the idea of that. And Team member. We need to add a team member. Okay, let's just go ahead and let's go over to our settings. We're going to go My Staff. We need to add someone into this. So add a user. Okay. And save all of that. So on Go High Level, we have agency view, which is like a high level view. And then we have sub accounts, and they're like the individual businesses, basically. So if we go to team, we go add, or if we find a team member, we're going to have to blur all of this information on screen. When I say that, I'm not saying it for you guys, by the way. It's just a nice cue for the editors to know, blur this shit, basically. Okay, now we can switch back to that account. Consulting. Settings. My team should now be there. Yep. Go back. Calendars. Calendar settings. Create a calendar. Free consult. Audit. We can start off with 30 minutes. 30 minutes is fine for initial calls. You can increase them to an hour if you need to, but 30 minutes is a nice way to start. And you can always run over. We can set a buffer so we can go confirm. We're also going to set our times that we're happy to actually take calls. So now we've got our embed, which we can go and give to Finn right now, although we don't need to do that just yet. I'm going to go ahead and edit this calendar. We can edit the calendar logo if we want to. We can also change the availability, but I'm going to do, let's just have a little look at, where's the calendar settings? We want to do a buffer. That's what we want, a booking rule. Here we go. So we can do a little buffer. And so this means that after our 30-minute booking, it's not going to book anyone else for another 30 minutes. I'd recommend you doing that in the early stages, because that means that if you run over, then it's not going to be an issue. So do that. Date range, I would book maximum of 4 days in advance. Minimum schedule notice, I would do like 3 hours. So you've got time to look into the future and see, well, you've got time to notice if a new call comes through. We hit save changes on that, okay? And now we go ahead and go back, and we can take this calendar embed. Just a quick run through of Go High Level, actually. All of our contacts, let's say we've got our leads, we can go onto contacts right now. And if we want to, we can go ahead and we can add contacts and we can import them here. So we can go ahead and we can import one of our lists. So we can import contacts, upload them. And here's one of those lists that we generated. And it's going to create and upload those contacts so we can get them in the CRM system so we can have them there. And then we can go ahead and we can map these as well. So it's already mapped these fields. We want to make sure that we've got email address and everything. And so that is all good. Don't import data in unmapped fields. Go to contacts now. You see these contacts are now being added. If we go into bulk actions, you'll be able to see that they're currently being processed. Once we've done that, we can go over to opportunities and we can create a new pipeline. If we create a new pipeline, it's actually going to have individual sections that we can choose. Let me just create this as like example. So you can see this. Because we are actually going to go ahead and we're going to go much deeper into this. I'm just going to give you a really quick preview because we're going to build this out when we actually go through sales properly. So this is all set up. And so, in fact, we could just do this right now whilst we're waiting for a logo to be generated. So we've got new lead, we've got contacted, we've got proposal sent, and then we've got closed. I would recommend a couple of other stages. We've got follow up. So just when we need to follow up with a lead, okay? And they've ghosted us. We've got lost as well. So if someone says no, and then we've also got ghosting. Okay, I like ghosting because it's like people that are like that are really just, we've reached out to them, they're just not responding to us now for whatever reason. And so now we've got these leads in here. So now we can actually add an opportunity. So we could go ahead and add a contact. So we can take one of these contacts, we can create the opportunity. And now we can move them around, we can update that, and now we can move them around wherever we want to. So now we've got a sales pipeline, and we will come back to this. We'll play around with this in a little bit more detail in another episode. Let's see what image we've got generated now. Okay, Finn is actually struggling to generate that image, and so I'm going to take a screenshot of this page, and we're going to come off this. We're going to go over to the dashboard. Oh, hang on. What happened there? Did you see that? I just saw the preview. Hang on. That's way nicer. Did I do something wrong? Well, that wasn't there before. Oh, that's strange. It was like, it looked like it was struggling, and I clicked off and then bang. That's nice. I like. Trust review, family law. That's good. We could play around with it. That's good. I like. Okay. We're back in business. Crisis over. What I was going to do is I was going to go over here and go to Nina, the design consultant, and Nina's got access to Nano Banana Pro on the back end, which is like Google's best model. I'm conscious of what I've got. Okay, I've got some time. Looking at the SD card, where there's a lot of recording time here. Nino would be able to generate that image for us, no problem. But it looks like Finn actually just did do it for us, and I just wasn't, I didn't read the chat properly, but it looked like there was no problem. So the final thing that we need to do then is we need to go ahead and we need to say, okay, I want this calendar. Let's go calendar settings. Let's take this, share the calendar. Let's get the embed code. Let's copy that. Update the calendar embed at the book a call section to this. Okay, let's let it do its thing. And then we're going to have, this is good. This is real good. I'm probably going to spend a little bit of time later tweaking the copy a little bit. I will do like a proper audit later, just making sure the copy is perfect. But like most of this is pretty perfect right now. But I probably will come away from this and just do a little bit of tweaking. Right, so we've got the calendar in. Nice, I actually centralize this as well, because we could make a small calendar embed on the right hand side, but actually do like having the full view with a high level embed. And so now we have, if we go and book a time, we can go and fill in that time. They could go and schedule a meeting straight away. So people can go straight on the website. The only action they've got to do is go through. It's really important we have the booking at the bottom of the page, by the way, because we want to make sure that they have to read through everything, or at least have the opportunity to before they get to calendar booking. One thing we haven't done here is add any qualification questions. I would recommend doing that. So to do that, we go over to our calendar. Okay, and what we need to actually do is if we go onto the calendar itself and we go on advanced and then form and confirmation, here's the form. In order to edit that form, we need to go over to, I believe it's sites, forms. Yeah, there we go. And then create form, name, email, phone. Okay. And we definitely don't want to have two requests. We don't want T's and C's 1 and T's and C's 1. Let's just keep T's and C's 1. That's fine. But we are going to add another question. So let's just go ahead and do website. So where have we got website? Yeah, we definitely want them to put their website. We also want to make that a required field. So we're going to tick required there. And then I would also recommend having at least one qualifier. So lots of people have a temptation of doing revenue level. I wouldn't actually recommend doing revenue level when you're a small agency. It's going to be quite tough. And so I would just do like an open qualifier for now. Just as like what are you hoping to gain from the call, or like any other information. For example, it could just be like any other information. Actually, no, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to do a single line. How many consults can you, in fact, we'll get rid of that. We'll do a drop down, single drop down. How many consults can you, what is your monthly consult capacity? Okay, 0 to 10, 10 to 25, 25 to 50, 50 to 100. I want these to be a little bit more, actually. So the more these are, the more clients will be able to, the bigger the client will be able to attract. 500 to 100 to 500, 500 plus. Okay, nice. Save. Let's also make this a requirement. Okay. We're going to do consult audit. So this is going to give us an indicator of like the size of the business. So it's just, instead of us saying, hey, what's your revenue level, we can get an indicator of the size of the business just by asking, just being a bit smarter about what we actually are. So now we can change it to the consult audit. And so it's going to then have the form there. We're going to hit save. If we now go on our landing page, and we publish that first of all. What we can do is we can now go ahead and preview this. I think there probably will be some little tweaks that I will do in my own time, but for the sake of this, I'm pretty happy. If we go over to settings, what are we on? We're good. And we can either take our preview link there, so we can actually see like this is clean. Look at that. There we are. And then when we go and book, you see we've got those other questions on this form as well. So we actually just need to go and edit that fix on that form. We need to make sure that these things are edited, their business name and so on. And then we've got our questions there as well. We can edit the design as well. So this is a little bit sexy. I don't like the black and the blue together. But there we are. That is not a bad one bang-ish landing page in, that says 37 minutes right there, but this timer actually restarts on the 90-minute point. So we're on 2 hours and 7 minutes. It's taken us to get all that done. We can go ahead and add a custom domain right now. So we've already got our domain. I'm going to save that. I'm not going to do it right now. And the reason why, don't know if I did that, by the way. You're going to need that. And the reason why I'm not going to do it right now is because this episode's going to be released after the first, and you'll see the domain, then people will be looking at the website and filling in the form and doing all this stuff. And so I'm going to wait to do this on the next ones because we've got episode release lag. And so that is us. That is our landing page. We've now got that built. We have just done our CRM system. We've built our website. We're good to go. What else have we now got to get into? Next steps are building the outreach strategy, the paid ad strategy, then we're going into getting clients, getting into getting results. This is a big task getting into outreach strategy right now. So I think this is a pretty nice place for us to finish off today. If you haven't already entered the competition, make sure you do that. I'm going to take a breather. Subscribe if you're not already. Turn your notification bell on for episode 3, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, guys.